judge our lives not by our inner voice, but by the voices outside. And now that comes to us by the media. Mostly by social media, but also by TV, commercials, magazines. So we've started to assume that the Dharma of the models in the magazine, the Dharma of the people we follow on social media, is the same as our Dharma. Which means that we need to do what they are doing. We need to look like them, act like that, get involved in that line of work, become like this, because that's what we see. And what is made so beautifully clear by Lord Krishna is we each have a Dharma. And what our duty is to live our lives, not somebody else's life. Not to compare and judge us to somebody else. Not to worry about what someone else is achieving or doing. To live not someone else's life, but our life. But it's become very difficult. Because life has become about watching others, and then instead of living our lives, it's become all about showing our lives. Tonight, in the Arati, I looked out. I opened my eyes as we stood for Arati, and what you see is an ocean of mobile phones. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not criticizing it, but it's a really important point to recognize. We're not at a rock concert. We're at an experience in which people have come from hundreds or thousands of miles away to take part, to allow themselves to be touched and transformed. And when even here, an experience like the Arati becomes one that 90% of people are seeing through the lens of their phone, we miss out on actually living our lives. The entire frame of our lives becomes, whether it's horizontal, whether it's vertical, whatever the iPhone gives us. This is now the frame through which we see life. And it's taking pictures of something or recording something is a very different experience from living it. And again, it's wonderful to take pictures, it's wonderful to take home memories, it's wonderful to record things and share them with others. But we really need to be careful that we haven't started projecting our lives instead of living them. Because no amount of likes on Facebook is going to allow you to rewind your life and re-enjoy the experience you had because you missed it the first time around. The depth of connection and love and satisfaction that we get by being in our life, whether it's praying, whether it's meditating, whether it's singing, whether it's walking in the park, whether it's being with children, our children. How many parents miss the opportunity to be totally present with the most precious moments of their children's lives because they're so busy videoing them to put them up online. And again, it's not a criticism of it. It's wonderful to share. We live so far away. It's so nice to be able to connect and see loved ones and how the kids are growing. But it's become almost an addiction. If I didn't post it, and enough people didn't respond to it, it didn't happen. in order to know really what we're supposed to do in our life, we have to begin by living our lives. We can't know what step to take next if we're not here in this moment. And so the first piece is to disconnect temporarily so that we can reconnect inside. And I don't mean a week, I mean an hour. Half an hour. But give ourselves a certain time in each day in which the only lens that we're looking at our life through is our own inner eye. The only one whose likes or love or comments that we're going to get are our own. There needs to be an element of sacredness in our lives, or we miss the real joy. And what is happening with the media, as we project it all, as it all gets seen through the lens of a camera, is we miss the sacredness. It becomes about the show. And if we don't enable ourselves to connect deeply with our higher purpose, we'll never know what it is. I can't sit here and tell you what your higher purpose is. What I can assure you is that you know what your higher purpose is. You're the one who has that knowledge. Just like if sitting in front of me there was a dog and there was a cat and there was a turtle and there was an elephant, and and they said, well, what's my higher purpose? Well, it's different for each of you. But when you connect to it, you'll know. And the last part that I just want to say on this is, higher means higher as in my consciousness, not higher as in a hierarchy. Higher purpose does not mean that being a stay-at-home wife or mother is not enough. It doesn't mean that being a gardener is not enough. It doesn't mean that being a cook or a driver is not enough. Higher is my state of consciousness. Tragically these days when we talk about higher purposes, everyone moves through the world feeling like until and unless I'm the CEO of a big company, or until and unless I've achieved some very high level of name, of fame, of respect, of clout, of whatever ladder we particularly are climbing, until I've gotten to the top, I haven't reached my higher purpose. No. Higher is my state of consciousness. And in the Indian scriptures, there are innumerable examples of people, sages, the ones who are worshipable, who were low caste, low class, manual laborers, cobblers, poor people. These are the people who, through their higher consciousness, not only attained God in their life. We spoke today in the spiritual retreat about Shabri, whose higher purpose was to sweep. Not to start a TV show about sweeping, not to be the queen of the brooms, not to run a training course on the proper way of sweeping, not to plaster billboards with a picture of herself and her broom, but just to sweep. And to sweep so that when God comes, the road is clean. This is a higher purpose. And it doesn't matter whether we fulfill it as a sweeper, as a CEO, as a mother, as an artist, as a clerk. What matters is our consciousness. And when our consciousness is high, what will happen is our purpose will flow through us. And it may be something that seems in the scheme of things very important. It may be something that in the scheme of things seems very small. A cobbler, a sweeper, a gardener, a clerk. But if our consciousness is high, we have attained and achieved our highest art.